Ryan Little.
Japan.
Weekend or happy first week of January or whatever date is. Wanted to say I hope you guys are having a great 2021. I hope you guys are sticking for your goals. I wanted to come on here and share today how I am currently training for my first ever section hike, which is the Wonderland Trail. It's a trail here in Washington State where I currently reside. It's about 99 miles. I chose this specific trail because it's very close to me. It's gonna be a good way for me to get my feet wet in this world of aspiring to be a future thru hiker. I figured, why don't I just start off with section hiking, because this is what I can do now since I'm a full-time worker and I'm still trying to get a budget together to do an actual thru hike in the future. Improve my outdoor skills, get knowledgeable about the gear and getting elevation gain during the week, doing my walking miles and so forth. So one of the first things I do is just walking. Walking is very simple, it's low intensity, it doesn't put a lot of stress on your knees and your feet. It's a great way to get your feet and legs ready for a long distance. And I know a lot of people would do running, but it doesn't necessarily strengthen the same muscles as would walking. I think as long as you are going out and walking every single day, wherever you can, I think that's a great start to training for any type of hiking adventure. For me, I have the accessibility of having the Mount Si and living close to the Cascades, so I could technically hike to all those places and walk around, get some elevation gain during the week. But however, time is not on my side. I have to work with what I got with staying relatively close to the neighborhood, using my community, using my sidewalks and so forth. So walking is a great activity. It's very low intensity and it really does a good job of strengthening your feet and your legs to get ready to carry a lot of weight and accumulate a lot of miles for anybody who goes out who's anticipating walking either a long trail or a section hike or a thru hike. Walking is about the best thing you can do to train your body for this because you're primarily going to be walking. You're going to be walking on different elevation, you're going to be walking in different terrain, you're going to be exposed to different elements. So I try to incorporate that knowing into how I train for the week. Make sure you have a really good pair of comfortable shoes, make sure you have good gear, ensure that you're walking at least daily. It's a hard component when somebody has a 40-hour job and they feel like they can't give themselves at least a 20-minute walk. If you can give yourself a 20-30-minute walk per day, I would say that's doing a hell of a lot better than doing nothing. Every week, I live by the motto of do what you can, when you can, if you can. That should be everybody's motto who can't do everything. I do this walk, I try to do it every day. Just a simple 3 miles. People get caught up in the numbers, trying to get, 15, 20,000 steps every day. And to me, I think that sets people up for failure because if they don't meet 15,000, 20,000 step goal mark, they feel like they failed. I've just gotten into the mindset of doing what I can when I can and just being okay with that. Working to progress. All you have to do is walk. You don't need any weights. You can walk pretty much anywhere. You can walk in town, you can walk to the market, whatever it may be. So I try to strive to do about 3 to 4 miles per day now. You're completely fine if you can only do a mile and a half, but I think the best thing to do is to strive to do as many miles as you can in a day and to try to at least work on adding 1 additional mile per week. Walk when you can, if you can, and when you can. And for me, it's either before work or after work. And that means walking in the dark before work, walking in the dark after work. I don't have daylight on my side, so I think it's important that you incorporate the gear aspect of having the right headlamp or having the right lighting gear. So, you have to think about safety, because if you're going out in your community and you're walking in pitch black dark, you want some illumination. You can see where you're going. People can see you. You won't get hit by a car. Everything is good. I think it's really a good idea to bring a dog if you're going to be hiking hours before 7:30, especially when you're close to the woods here in an area where a lot of people go missing. You got to worry about people as much as you got to worry about animals, and I think people are the biggest threat when it comes to hiking in a nearby town with a lot of woods. If it's a busy day and I can squeeze in a walk during lunch, I do about 1.5 miles during lunch. If it's after work, I try to do the 3 miles because I'm not rushing to come back, and I typically bring my headlamp because I know if I'm going to be walking starting anywhere between 4 or 4:30 p.m., I'm going to be hitting dusk, and that's when some of the animals come out. We have some elk here, cougars, bears, coyotes, you name it. I would say if you're getting ready for a long hike or a section hike per se, you are going to have to get used to walking on different terrain. So it's good to go out and not just stick with walking on the pavement. I would suggest, walking on some rocks or walking on dirt, just an unlevel, uneven surface. I would also suggest getting some kind of Fitbit or an Apple Watch or something relatively cheap, just to track your miles each week and ensure that you're getting ready to build up your mileage. The goal is just doing the best you can when you can. Don't beat yourself up about it. If you're not able to do like 5 miles in a week, or you can't get up to 10 miles, no big deal. Just do what you can. I mean, it's about the easiest thing you can do for hiking. You shouldn't prevent yourself if you have like a super windy day or a heavy rain day. I mean, over here in the Pacific Northwest, we have a lot of rain. We've been having a lot of wind lately, and usually back in the day, that would prevent me from taking my dogs out on a walk because I didn't have the gear for it. So I would highly suggest getting the right gear, getting a rain jacket, getting the right hiking boots, or getting the right windproof jacket, just so that you're able to go out there in all different type of weather. I officially got out of work, and this is how I typically go out for a walk. I know it's kind of crazy, but I have layers under these pants from REI. I don't know if you can see it. I usually put on a fleece sweater underneath, and this rain jacket that Eddie Bauer, I got these pants from Eddie Bauer, and they're pretty good. They keep me dry for the rain, but this is essential wear for the Pacific Northwest. When you go out there in a section hike or a long hike, you don't have the luxury of deciding to get shelter or, staying in your house so that you can wait out the storm. You're gonna have to be out there being exposed to the elements, and that requires a lot of mental conditioning. So I think this is where it's not only the physical aspect that comes into play, but also the mental training, because going out there and saying, hey, all right, it's gonna rain, it's gonna be super windy, we're just gonna have to go out there and test out our gear. And it's a great way for you to see, is this jacket really doing a great job of keeping me dry in the rain? Is this jacket really doing a good job of keeping you warm in the super windy days? Go out there, use your gear, get used to it, because if you're out there in the middle of nowhere and you don't have some kind of gear exchange store, you gotta work with what you got, and it's a good idea to get to know the type of gear that you have and if it is pretty resistant against elements. If you don't want to beat yourself every single day, and if it's raining every single day, so be it. You can walk inside as long as you're still walking, but I would say don't let that prevent you from accomplishing the mileage that you need to gain each day. Definitely go out there and get exposed to the elements. It'll do a great job with building your mental and physical strength. Another activity that I do throughout the week is training for elevation. Now, training for elevation can be kind of tricky, and you have to be creative depending on where you live. If you live in California or Colorado or Washington or anywhere where you have endless amounts of mountains and hikes near you, it's relatively easy to get around 2,000 feet elevation per week. But if you're living in an urban environment or a place where you have flat ground and you don't really have mountains at your disposal to to train to get that elevation gain, I would highly suggest using stairs or using a treadmill. You can put your treadmill at the incline mode and start working to get your feet used to that elevation climb. A second strategy is to use a stair stepper. Stand in front of your living room TV and just move your legs up and down. You just gotta get used to the motion. Your feet gotta get used to going up those climbs. And if you can't use a Stairmaster, or if you can't use a treadmill at an incline, I would also suggest is a simple aerobic stepper or one of those boxes, or even a stool, a kitchen stool such as this. I'll show you guys. This right here, as long as it's stable and you can step on it without it breaking, it functions well. This right here, I got around $16 at Home Goods, and it's pretty good at flattening and opening. Step. Okay. You have to get your legs used to the motion of going up in elevation and using different muscles, your ankles, calves, feet. Hiking is an all-body workout, so you really have to get creative and think about what areas of your body need to be worked on so that when you go out on these hikes, you can reduce injury and falls. Highly suggest working to get about 2,000 feet elevation per week, whether that's climbing stairs, using a public park, walking up a hill, or going on an actual hike, using aerobic stair steppers, using a treadmill, and putting on an incline. But the easiest thing you can do is just go walking, go find a hill in your neighborhood and just go walk up and down the hill a few times per week. Work on it slowly and work from there. Another good training technique that I use throughout the week is breathing exercises, and a lot of people would use yoga or meditation to incorporate some kind of breathing. Breathing exercises can occur anytime when I'm laying in bed or I'm sitting in front of my red light, and it's a good strategy to develop those skills with the breathing because hiking can be pretty stressful both mentally and physically, and when you're going up hills, you can have a lot of difficulty breathing, and so you want to get used to working your diaphragm, working on breathing and taking long breaths and doing different counts. So I think that's a really good exercise to work on, and I just wanted to throw that in there because it's not necessarily a physical activity, but I think it's pretty useful to work on that skill. Any exercise that works on your core muscles and your ankles are super important. You can do this through yoga because there's a lot of balance exercises with yoga. You can do this with strength training, and any type of technique that works your core and ankles is going to be great for preventing when you go on hikes, you're very prone to falling or slipping, and it's really good to incorporate some balance exercises. And I think yoga and strength training would be great techniques to work on developing that strength and developing those balance skills to get you to a better place and prevent you from falling, because that fall can lead to an injury, and then once you're injured, that kind of ruins your chances of wanting to finish a section hike. So those are the strategies that I incorporate throughout the week, and I wanted to share some clips of my week and how I incorporate training for a section hike with, a busy schedule and trying to balance working 40 hours a week using the limited time that I have, but still striving to get this many miles per week, that much elevation, while working on the mental work of breathing and core and strength work. I think it's great to have variety because hiking is an all-body workout, and to have all these strategies caked into 1 week can be a great technique to becoming that more experienced hiker down the line. But then again, everything starts with practice and consistency. There's no better way to practice for hiking than walking. So if you're going to take away anything from this video, I would suggest making sure that you get the gear to go out in all types of elements and just walking as much as you can when you can every day. Walking is the best strategy you can do because it does help with both mental and physical health, and to me that is the best benefit. I mean, just going outdoors is an asset in itself. And lastly, I want to say I am a novice hiker and I strive to be a more experienced hiker, so I'm just sharing the tools and strategies that I plan to use to become that more experienced hiker down the line. But you won't get to really understand the nature of hiking unless you actually embark on one of these adventures. And so I would say starting off small and working your way up is gonna get you to where you need. So if you guys are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe to my link right here and hit that bell right there if you want to be notified for new videos. Hit a like, throw a comment, throw something out there. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'd be interested to talk to you guys and hear what you want me to make more videos on or different topics. I have a lot of different things planned here and there, but if there's something that you guys want to see or you have questions on, just let me know, shoot me a comment. Thanks for watching. Just make sure that you guys take the time to go outside, do something for you, and I'll talk to you guys later.